that out front? Is that a pergola?
Who knows where it's stuck with all this?
That thing out front, is that a pergola? In front of your house? Yours. Big dome looking thing.
Oh, that screen tent. That's been back and forth across the yard a few times.
You want that trampoline pad? Or whatever it is, the old trampoline pad for that little swing? It protects it. Plus it keeps your feet off.
Yeah. I never need to get a tarp over that thing. Never set it up. They're supposed to come
I told Amy to get a hold of me so I can live there. And she's not.
You put them steps in the back of your truck by yourself? And you put them in your truck by yourself? You got your truck with you?
Yeah, right now it's still on. Or really wait until there's some daylight so I can see my holiday.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow. Probably won't be able to do it.
We need one over.
Just spread a bunch of
I don't
down.
think it's gonna rain yet.
I can't. No service. I think I tried. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. It's $78 for a rebuild kit, or $105 to buy the whole thing. So I guess I'm gonna order it tonight. So I can have it by Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, usually if you got any other kind of valve problems, you usually group the pumps get through
That's what I figured it did.
I got lucky on a big old front end load one time. It's just a tree that blew off the valve thing. So none ain't more dim. We
I
would try
told
to run
Daddy next to go and check because my diagnosis, and then when Ronnie's diagnosis, they said you should get checked. And I was like, no. I just think that if
Yeah, I think they're talking rain. It's coming in, what, Monday? There's chances all the way up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Maybe 30-mile-an-hour gust tomorrow.
Hopefully that tree stays up there. It don't look like my brother-in-law's gonna be able to come and cut it down like they want to. I just need a top. I didn't want to get so far to whatever. I could sit and actually lay it down where it fall in between everything.
We cut a tree down for Jim Raft, and that wind blowing by that saw, dust going on it. Fill your eyes full.
how's she doing?
Eyes feel gritty for about 2 hours.
There's possible chances of thunderstorms tonight, but there's only 30% chance of rain.
We're talking like in the morning tonight. I think they were just more talking about tonight in the morning.
Well, for some reason, I get to watch Bloomington and Peoria news because you put in Nason zip code for Hulu and all that. They think you're way up north instead of way down south. So out here, I just get my weather or Mount Vernon or out of Duke or wherever for all my weather stuff. I try to watch the news or whatever on my Roku or Hulu or any of that. Or I'll watch Bloomington, Peoria. I can't watch St. Louis or Paducah or any of that.
Oh, Jim. That little thing over there. Yeah, I'm about to go hide.
We got the stick waters on. Put down there.
Dude.
That's all it was the amperage thing, a little plate in there and stuff. Just had to turn it back and turn it on. Steve, we were rolling.
That's what I ran across. I thought I'd be able to fix up there for about 3 days.
Mine was stuck on the ride home. It was on a small trailer all the way from Nashville. And just the dial, the little thing that moves inside, you turn the dial, it's stuck. Just depling it.
I'd have been like, we just pull
Me when I played with a couple times, and the idle, it was just the idle was running high. I thought it was, that's probably what it is. I thought it was way, the amperage was way up on it. It was just stuck. Adjusted.
Luckily. The next couple of days, I'll bring my big ladder down here. We got to change the lights. Can't believe it blowed already.
Should be.
I don't know. I don't remember when they put it here. Spring broke on us a couple months ago.
Pardon me?
The spring. That's why the truck's in the house. We can't get the door open. Nobody will call us back. We've been calling for 2 weeks trying to get a hold of somebody. They won't call us back. I mean, they're busy.
Well, half of them said ordered. It took 2 years. So they're on back for getting around to working on keeping stuff up.
When I ordered those 2 garage doors for her garage, they lost them twice. I finally went over that door. She had them in a week.
But I mean, even just to get some of that stuff for there for a while was like.
Oh, they sell that up there by the foot. Yeah, you can go up there and buy that. But I told them I'm not working 12 foot in the air.
See if anybody's in there.
Oh, I got the lady's phone number. I may have to do it. Have a seat, sir. Well, depends on what season it is.
December 7th?
That's how you be making us the show.
My son made some deer loins. Oh my God.
Very honest. Tell you what, how about we trade seats?
Nason signed that.
I would love that.
But you're welcome to have a seat.
I've been
He
saying.
doesn't. He doesn't. Because he's here. He's All right, we're going to get started. I want to remind everybody we have meeting rules. The ordinance is on the table if you don't understand them. If you've never been to a meeting before this, think about a courtroom. That's how we act. No out of turn speaking. If you want to speak, you should have signed in. This is just about our water grant. We've had people who have missed meetings and did not understand it, so we're here to explain it before we lose it. Mr. Beckman is from Milano and Grunlock. They're our engineering company. He's going to let everybody know about the water grant and the steps and everything else, and then we will take a few questions.
Me?
Floor is yours, dude.
Oh, good evening. The city of Nason, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, whenever it was, they experienced they experienced water leaks. A lot of the system is older, dysfunctional. They've done some improvements over the years, but I know in the last 2 years, whatever, Lake, they have a lot of money invested in maintaining the system. So what the city did is they applied for a grant to DCO. They have a $1.5 million grant, which essentially will replace, I'm going to say, everything on the north end of the city. The $1.5 million is a grant from DCO that does not have to be paid back. To go with that, there's about an additional $200,000 in costs that's not funded through DCO. They're applying to the IEPA for that funding, Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, through the SRF program, which is the state revolving fund. The IEPA funding comes with principal forgiveness. The principal forgiveness is essentially grant money. So when they get the money from the IEPA, they forgive some of the principal. Rough numbers they're looking at on that is 50% principal forgiveness. With DCO funding, they have to advertise the project 6 months after the grant agreement. So that's coming up in the next 30 to 60 days, I'm going to say. So they're looking at advertising the project for the DCO funding. One of the things that came up with the IEPA funding is a lot of the paperwork, and I know that there's been a request for something? Petition, which is for the IEPA funding. If that goes through, then the city has to put it on the April ballot. Thank you, teamwork. Which essentially will eliminate them from being able to use EPA funding for the $200,000, because once they start the project, the EPA funding won't be eligible, because if you start the project, sign contracts, you'll lose the EPA funding. So the $200,000 then would have to be paid back by the city. So right now, with some of the funding the city has in place, really there's no proposed rate increases, because the $1.5 million is a grant to DCO. A grant is free money, you don't pay back. The EPA proposed funding of $200,000 is going to come with principal forgiveness for approximately 50%, and it's a 1% on the loan. So, like I said, if the EPA funding isn't secured, then they would probably have to move forward to keep the $1.5 million, because there's time constraints for that, and possibly result in, I'm going to say, higher costs for the residents of the city of Nason. One of the, what else is there?
I mean, it pretty much boils down to, if we wait till April to apply for this, which we won't be eligible then, because work would have started. Water bills are going to go up, and our bank account's going to get up, because they have done almost $200,000 worth of work already. We have been holding their bills and not paying them because they knew we were applying for funding through the EPA. So we have to pay them. That petition gets signed, that's what happens. Nobody's against, if somebody feels that everybody should have a vote on this petition, that's great. But we have to understand that money has to be paid today.
So when we originally started this, there was no fix it.
It's EPA funding. Actually, what's going to happen is the city has, I don't know these numbers, I'm going to throw out $90,000 in water. $200,000 in water. So we apply to the EPA for the funding, which is $200,000. We get 50% principal forgiveness, and then we return that. And then you take the money in the bank and pay that off. So there's no long term. So you're right, but you have to go through those steps. If that makes sense, you have to go through those steps.
Right, so I was understanding we had money we could pay that off, but it's just 50% forgiveness, so that was, so how did you get it to 200,000 to be able to do it?
It's actually roughly 8% and 7%, so those are rough numbers. 8% of 1.5 million is signed, and actually 7% has to be deferred. So it wouldn't be
This full amount you're talking about, the 240 we originally talked about, that was over this time?
whatever that number is, and I'll be honest, I didn't pull
But
it.
that was part of it, what you spoke earlier, we would be over like 240 after the 25.
Okay.
So the 200, you talked about the OU, that's part of the 240?
Yes, yes. And that would be funded with EPA funding. They give you something on top of that, so therefore, rough numbers would only have to be
And then that would leave $100,000 in the bank for the salvage.
What he's saying is, we have to apply for the loan.
That's the part I didn't know if we had applied for one, we had to.
Well, we can't get forgiveness.
Right. So you apply to the EPA for the 200,000, whatever the number is in funding. You get it, you do your project, then they give you principal forgiveness after the sale.
Is there a 100% guarantee?
There is a setback.
We don't need 100%. We know what the set amount is.
I can tell you that. I don't have to. I don't know. I think it's set up as 50% here, but every year the EPA has an intended use plan. So every year in July, when we pass their intended use plan, it varies a little bit.
So you're saying we have to have a loan to get the forgiveness?
Correct. I like to use the word funding. It's the best term I like because a loan is a loan. So that's why I like to say EPA funding, because then the funding comes from the loan. If that makes sense.
50% would forgive. It says,
So essentially, you have enough money on hand, you can get the next PCO grant for the entire water system at no cost.
We got questions about,
Didn't the manager of the Red Lights cause some delay and you had to go back and fight for this again?
Well, there was some, I mean, not to revisit all the history, there was some things that happened. I don't think the Ren Lake Board was aware of everything the previous person. Yes, there was some delays in that, but that's all been ironed out.
Right, but you got that straightened out.
That's all been ironed out.
So a second delay should be different.
Well, the second delay would probably result in the city having to pay more money because they won't be able to use it. The application has already been submitted, everything's happened.
another thing is, the grant is given, all the grants are given to lower income communities who need money to fund the big projects. This is just a step of the grant process. If we turn around and say we don't need the EPA funding to pay the engineering fees, we're technically saying we don't need money. Which means the next grant we apply for is going to be a lot harder to get approved, because why are we applying for grants and saying we're in need and we've got all this money to pay our engineers?
You tell me how many communities called and you want to know how you got this grant, but they want one, can't get one.
At least a dozen.
At least a dozen.
Junction City got $600,000 and they're bigger than us. Somebody only got 30 besides
Well, the BCO program, I mean, there's a lot,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things.
I mean, we've gotten a substantial amount of money for the size of our community. In fact, Nathan, if we lose the grant or we don't get another one, Ren Lake will pull out as our water provider and our maintenance. I guarantee it. Unfortunately, the lawyer was supposed to be, our attorney was supposed to be here tonight, and he had an emergency. He couldn't be here. He was witness. I have emails from Ren Lake. They've spent $50,000 in less than a year repairing leaks. Nathan has worked on our water. You tell him how bad our pipes are.
You also are falling into the lead ball act that was passed that says any service after a certain year put in has to dig up every tap to reinsure that there's no lead on that service. So by doing this grant and putting water service in, this village will not be in that act to have to fix all that. So it kind of defeats two stones at once, but was you aware of the Lead Law Act? Because the state plumbing inspector of Illinois, I asked him about it. You have to physically dig up every single tap to verify that there's no lead coming to your home. And if it's not done by 2027, then the state can fine each village, township, whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars until they get it done.
What if Red Light tells us tomorrow we spent too much money, we don't want we don't want to maintain your service, what would it cost us a month to retain a plumber?
For us to be on like a full-fledged 24-hour retainer, I mean, we'd be at like 5,000 to 8,000 a month because, I mean, we run a business, we work for all the communities, everything. But for us to be on a 24-hour service, I would have to be paid a retainer. So that means I would have to break away from any job, come down here to get your water fixed in my car. And I've worked on that one over by Wayne's house a couple times, and it's like super thin, 1/8-inch thick PVC. And we literally fixed one, dropped the shovel, hit the pipe, and it exploded. Just off of an impact like that. Well, you got to figure in the spring, fall, the ground shifts, and that's when your main leaks occur.
Maybe going down there again because south of the church is leaking across the road again.
Yeah. I mean,
I seen it puddling up.
I would check the date. Did you see it come out? Okay, I'll text. I'll text Jeremy Richards. He's in charge of that to make sure he's gotten the message.
we passed it this morning,
They,
but I don't know if they was going there.
they did meter reading today and marking out a new line.
I stopped and told them when they weren't sure what was going on. I don't think they care. Just read meters.
Other than just filling 10, but they'll actually be really usable hydrants.
There's a map in this handout all around. I
Through the road, from your property to that hookup, we are responsible for looking
It'll be from the main to the meter, meter pit and everything inside is in place. There's some new meters that you guys have.
When you go to digital,
Those will be reused if there's new meters out there. So anything that comes in the same good will be reused. It's probably very good. And they'll hook into your service line. If they find a lead service line, that's going to be addressed. And I'm telling them they will do that.
I'm either, I'm not going to be responsible unless I have
Right,
I mean,
right,
to say
yes,
if we
yes.
find it, there's no responsibility for any person that's doing it.
And then, all of it goes to the line. If they were going to have my problem there, it would go south, right?
Yes.
But
And Grand Lake has been,
not as large, I mean, comments are south side. It's not as large as the actual area.
The grant was 1.5 million, so what we did is we looked at how much could be done for 1.5 million. I used the term north half, and you're correct. The south half will probably be lower in cost. The term half is,
You guys, you will, whenever on the south side part, you'll know how much that is. Are you the ones that did the grant? Actually, fine.
we applied
we did.
with the help of the city. I mean, there's
We
a
had to
lot
fill
of
out
work that goes
paperwork.
in the application, letters from residents, pictures,
And he did our park grant for us too. The $600,000. Well, everybody's,
You said it's water only.
I'm just letting you know what he does for